After a terrible start to Gameweek 33, a score of 53 points in the end sees just a small drop down to 5.3k. There were clean sheets from Mendy and Shaw, but a 95th minute equaliser from Joe Willock saw Alexander-Arnold lose his. The late decision to make a transfer and move Lucadinho onto the bench proved costly, after Everton beat Arsenal by a goal to nil. Diogo Jota missed one of the 5 big chances Liverpool fashioned against Newcastle, where who else but Mohamed Salah grabbed their only goal. Bruno Fernandes went a 5th consecutive match without scoring, despite taking 5 attempts. Only Mane and Mount had more during the game week amongst midfielders. Meanwhile, Jesse Lingard's hot streak finally came to an end against a stubborn Chelsea defence that didn't afford the Hammers a single big chance. There was a late transfer up front to bring in Jamie Vardy for Harry Kane. The fitness of the Spurs talisman was unknown at the time, while Leicester had great fixtures and a likely double Gameweek 35 to come. But already it's looking like a mistake, after Kane returned to play the full 90 minutes against Man City, while Vardy squandered some good chances against Crystal Palace, leaving empty-handed. Thankfully, his strike partner Iheanacho continues his impressive form, and it proved a good decision to move the captaincy onto him from Fernandes. So let's take a look at the transfer plans ahead of Friday's Gameweek 34 deadline. It's possible that we'll soon get the announcement for the rearranged fixtures that are expected to cause a double Gameweek 35 and a blank Gameweek 36, which could impact the transfer decision. The obvious place to start is with Harry Kane, who may have to come straight back in to protect the rank, given how high his effective ownership is likely to be against Sheffield United this gameweek. The England captain was far from his best against Man City, failing to take a shot or create a chance. But it has to be said that Spurs saw very little of the ball in attack generally, so there wasn't a lot to judge him on. It isn't a cut and dry decision to bring him back in, given the question marks over his fitness, but it would be Jamie Vardy making way in a reverse of last gameweek's late transfer. What could make this even more tricky is if Leicester get a double Gameweek 35, and if the announcement for that comes before the deadline. You'd expect Kane to fare better this game week alone, but over the next 2 game weeks combined, if Vardy does have an extra fixture, does he then have the upper hand? So let's wait for further news on fixtures, and on Kane's fitness before making a final decision. But without doubt, the safest thing to do will be to make that swap back. The other ongoing issue in the squad is the injured Pedro Neto, but there's no huge rush to sell, given that Watkins can be used in his place. Matheus Pereira is an option, but Rafinha remains the primary target for that spot, and with the Brazilian still doubtful through injury himself, that's a move that can wait for now. With all that being said, here's how the team is likely to line up. Mendy faces a Fulham side that have scored just 3 goals in their last 4 away matches. Only Everton and Sheffield United have fared worse. Meanwhile, just 4 teams have fashioned fewer than their 5 big chances. There's a decision to be made in defence this week, and at the moment it's the attack-minded trio to win places. Across their respective last 6 matches, Liverpool have conceded just 4 goals, and Man United just 3, the fewest in the league. Alexander-Arnold has racked up 11 attempted assists in the last 5 game weeks, and Shaw is the only defender able to better that total, with 14. So the pair offer potential at both ends of the field, in what could be a close contest. Digne ranks amongst the top 4 defenders for big chances created this season, and faces an Aston Villa side that have scored just 3 goals in their last 4 away matches. There are question marks over Jota after his 3rd successive blank, which saw him withdrawn before the hour mark against Newcastle. But during those last 3 game weeks, no midfielder has taken as many as his 14 shots, and only Greenwood has landed more than his 5 on target. It's tempting to look at moving Bruno Fernandes on, given his dip in form, but with a potential double Gameweek 35 to come, he may be worth holding for a little while longer. In the last 6 game weeks, only Salah and Greenwood have taken more shots than his 18 amongst midfielders, and only McNeil has attempted more assists than his 12. Heung-min Son has scored in each of his last 2 game weeks, following a return from injury. Spurs face a relegated Sheffield United side that have shipped 9 goals in their last 4 away trips, with only Southampton conceding more. Only Chris Wood and Matheus Pereira have amassed more points than Lingard in the last 4 game weeks. West Ham face a Burnley side that have allowed 8 goals in their last 4 matches, with only Southampton faring worse. Watkins has produced a return in each of the last 4 game weeks, where he's averaged 6.3 points per game. His tally of 5 shots on target in that time ranks joint 6th amongst forwards, while no player in his position can better his 7 attempted assists. With 4 goals and 1 assist in the same time frame, Iheanacho has produced 33 FPL points, ranking behind only Chris Wood amongst forwards. Only Kane and Wood can better his 2.5 expected goals figure. Leicester take on a Southampton side that have lost 4 of their last 6 matches, shipping a league-high 14 goals, while just 3 teams have given up more than their 17 big chances conceded. Those numbers make a tempting case for keeping hold of Jamie Vardy, but it would either be very brave or very foolish to go into this game week without Harry Kane. No team have conceded more big chances than Sheffield United in their respective last 6 matches, and the Blaze have conceded 13 goals in that time, just 1 fewer than the Saints. In the 4 matches prior to injury, between game weeks 29 and 32, the Englishman had netted 5 goals, while posting league best tallies of 19 shots, 8 shots on target, and 6 big chances. So if Ryan Mason is positive about the fitness of his talisman later in the week, it'll be hard to resist bringing him in and making him captain. Alternatively, Heung-min Son and Kelechi Iheanacho would provide the more differential options, should Jamie Vardy stay in the side instead.